Hi kids, welcome to FabCon. I'm your host, Doug Bryan. I've got a great guest for you today, former guitarist for pop metal band Danger Danger. He toured the world opening for Kiss and Alice Cooper, currently musical director for Olivia Newton-John. Sold over 1 million records worldwide and had 2 #1 videos on MTV. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Timmons.
Doug.
Thanks, brother. Thank you for being on FabCon,
Thanks
man.
for having me, man. Honored to be here.
You're like one of the people I know that's genuinely big in Japan.
Very fortunate, kind of stemming from my days at Danger Danger. That band did really well there back. We were back in the hair band days. We did okay in the States, but for some reason we really took off there in Japan. My first solo release was called Ear Ecstasy.
Yeah.
I put the record out completely on my own. Locally, it started to do well. Redbeard at Q102 added it.
The Great Redbeard.
The Great Redbeard. Word of mouth started taking off, and the woman that used to be the promotion for Epic in Japan saw this, and she said, "Why didn't you send me the record? We can work out a deal, we can license it from you." Ever since then, I just do the music the way I want to do it, record it the way I want to do it, own it, then license it out, and it's been a nice little career.
You started, what, 13? Something
It really started when I was 5. I had 3 older brothers that all played guitar. So I have a vivid memory of having a toy plastic guitar and I could play this.
Doing research on you, you've played with Kiss.
I did a demo session with Paul Stanley in New York City. Danger Danger had opened up for Kiss for about a month and a half on the Hot in the Shade tour back in 1990.
Hot in the Shade.
Hot in the Shade tour. Talk about a childhood dream come true. Of course, my upbringing was all the Beatles and everything, but when I was learning how to play guitar, it was Kiss in the 70s. I mean, that was the first concert I ever saw, was Bob Seger opening for Kiss '76. And I was in the last seat in the last row. That's, this is what I want to do, So years later, to actually get the call that we're going to open for that tour was amazing.
So let's talk about the new album. You decided to record Sgt. Pepper in its entirety in an instrumental fashion with a 3-piece band.
Sounds like a good idea. No, it didn't start off like that. We were doing a version of, we're doing Strawberry Fields.
That's right, yeah.
We've been doing this version with the Andy Timmons band on tour for actually a couple of years. It was going over so well each night. It was clearly one of the highlights of the night. My Italian promoter, this guy named Riccardo Capelli, said, "Why don't you do a whole set of Beatles next time you come?" Really, my first thought was, there's no way that I could keep a whole set of Beatles interesting with just a guitar, bass and drums, no vocals, because we're doing it instrumentally. But it got the wheels turning, so I just started playing around with songs. And I literally spent about 2 years. Well, if I did, She's Leaving Home, which was done with a harp and a string quartet. The harp had a heavy echo on it, so I can replicate that with a little digital delay with a... And I decided I wanted to do it like we'd done the previous record, the Resolution record, where there was no overdubs. There was just one guitar replicating all chords, melodies, harmonies. So then it became this really fun challenge. But the more I worked on it, the more I realized this might actually work.
So what is next? I mean, if this album does well for you, what are you doing, Revolver?
Everybody's been asking me that. Well, luckily I've got another record of my own stuff to do. But what I decided to do, I formed my own label. It's called Timstone Records. I'm a one-man operation, essentially. I've got the band to help. But it's after these many years of being in the music business, there's a lot of people out there that just want to help.
Yeah.
It helps when you have promotional dollars and ways to get out and tour. It's what Elvis Costello once had a quote that I really grabbed onto years ago about suggestions or advice for artists or musicians to really follow their natural muse and their artistic instinct. If it's good, people are going to eventually discover it. That's the beautiful thing, because it's a never-ending journey, right? We're still trying to write a better song. We're still trying to become a better musician, and it never ends. It's just infinitely inspiring.
Yeah, well, you're great at it, and the new album is fantastic.
Thank
it's
you,
the Andy Timmons Band Plays Sgt. Pepper on Timstone Records. Yeah. Check it out. You will love this record, especially if you're a Beatles fan. This will really add a new depth of appreciation of the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. Well, why don't you take us out with a little snippet?